Hey, what's up everybody? It's me, Studio Bunny. So today I went out to eat with my grandma because she came into town. And as it is with any family gathering that I'm ever a part of, it always comes back to talking about my past and my follies as a human being from long ago, since ancient times. So it's about my childhood. It's about all the sorts of things that make me want to put a bullet in my head. So I thought, what better way to forget about it than to talk about it on YouTube? So today, that's what this video is about. If I sound weird, it's because I'm kind of getting over sickness, and it's currently like 5 in the morning. Also, by the way, I'm drawing a D&D character, which I missed today because my grandma came into town, which, don't get me wrong, I love my grandma, but would have been fun. But whatever. Fuck it. So today I went to eat and with my grandma, and one of the stories that always comes up, no matter who, no matter what family member, no matter what, mainly because my brother likes to bring this story up, but my dad did it this time. And I think I've said it on one of my many former podcasts that I tried to start and inevitably gave up on because I'm a lazy shithead. It's a story where I was like 3, I guess. From what my dad says, I was 3 years old, and I was learning how to ride a bike, as lots of kids do. And my mother, I'm the firstborn, by the way, to give a little context. I'm the firstborn out of me and just my brother. So, being my mother's first child, the first one to come out the womb, she was somewhat nervous about literally everything. I was a bubble child most of my life, up until about the point where my brother came into the picture, and then it stopped being about my safety and more so like, hey, don't beat your brother over the head with a bat, or don't spray bleach in your brother's eyes. But that's a story for maybe the same video, I don't know, we'll find out. But yeah, so I was 3 at the park, and my mother gave me, because I was learning to ride a bike, my mother gave me shoulder pads. No, she gave me knee pads, elbow pads, she gave me a helmet, I literally had to waddle around because of how much gear my mother put on me to make sure I didn't fracture a fingertip. But yeah, so I was like decked out in heavy battle armor, learning to ride a bike, which was in and of itself probably a fucking travesty since I was a child. I don't remember much of my life. I can barely remember what happened yesterday. I can't even remember what I did for dinner tonight when I went out with my grandma. I can't even remember what I ordered. But, yeah. So my memory of this is surprisingly disappeared. It's all I know through stories. But apparently, my grandmothers and my uncle, I believe, and my mom were at the park teaching me how to ride my bike. And I inevitably wanted to stop riding my bike because we were taking a break or whatever, and we were at the park, and what kid wants to fucking ride a bike all day when there's germ-infested swing sets and all that good stuff that never get clean, except for by the passing rain, which in California, you know, is very sparing. So yeah, I, of course, wanted to play on the swings and whatnot. So my grandma was like, okay, let me take your gear off of you, and then you can go play on the swing. And I'm like, no. I want to keep the gear on. And why my 3 or 4-year-old mind decided I wanted to wear the gear is a mystery in and of itself, but my grandma was like, okay, go for it. So picture, if you will, a little child, a little Caucasian child, in a helmet, elbow pads, knee pads, waddling his way around a playground of sorts, trying desperately to climb onto the swings, only to fall down but not get hurt because, of course, my bubble wrap armor protected me. And so this goes on for quite a while, I assume, because at some point somebody comes up to my grandmother and they start chatting, you know, as you do at the park, like, oh, which kid's yours? Oh, that one. And so she asked my grandma that. She's like, which one's yours? And my grandma's like, oh, that's my grandson over there. And cut to me, like, face first in sand, trying to pull my helmet out from the other kids bullying me, burying my head in the sand. And the woman, bless her heart, probably tried to put this as delicately as possible. I'm hoping, because otherwise, I mean, it was the 90s, so it was an offensive time. But, she looks at me, sees me in my elbow pads, shoulder pads, and knee pads, and helmet, and all that good stuff, and turns to my grandmother, I'm assuming with a concerned look, and asks, oh, is he special? And my grandma is just like, doesn't click with her. She's like, well, what do you mean? He's like, you know, does he have, like, you know? And she's like, oh, and this woman assumed I was, mentally handicapped, which I'm not, as far as I'm aware. Yeah, so my grandma's like, finally gets it, and is like, oh, no, he just likes to wear that stuff. He just enjoys it. So that was cool. That's a moment I fondly look back on and think, wow, I was a stupid kid, and I want to die. And I was a stupid kid, man. I look at what... That reminds me. So every Thursday, usually, me and my brother will go to my aunt's house, because my aunt just loves to visit us, or loves us coming up, and she has 3 kids. She has 2 twins and a little boy. And they love seeing me and my brother. We're, like, because we're the only ones that live in the area, So we'll go, every Thursday we'll go and visit them and hang out and stuff. And I was talking to one of my cousins, because I don't know what grade they're in. I believe they're in, like 4th grade, probably 3rd or 4th grade, maybe 5th grade. I don't know. I don't keep track of family, but so yeah, they're getting there. And I was talking to one of the twins, and I asked, "What do you want to be when you grow up?" Because, you know, I love to implant anxiety in children early on, and I asked my cousin, "What do you want to be when you grow up?" And without even a second of hesitation, she's like, "Oh, I want to be a bioengineer." And I'm like, hold on a second. A what? A bioengineer? Wow. When I was your age, I wanted to be a fucking helicopter. I wanted to be a fucking helicopter pilot. Not a fucking bioengineer. Not somebody who's gonna change the world. I wanted to fly fucking helicopters. That was my big aspiration as a child. Which, as a child, I must have had a fucking death wish, honestly. Because to fly a fucking... No disrespect to any helicopter pilots who are totally listening to my videos. But to want to fly one of those things when you know that a pigeon could shit on the fucking propeller and send you tumbling down to earth? Yeah, that doesn't sit well with me anymore. But as a child, I guess I didn't think about the inevitability that is death and how swiftly it can come. So, yeah, there was a time where me and this kid named Connor, I only remember his name, I remember nothing else about him, probably because there was no distinguishable features about this child, and also I have the memory of a fucking goldfish. But yeah, me and Connor promised each other that one day we thought we were going to be best friends forever, which, of course, we are not. I didn't talk to that guy after... I hadn't talked to him after kindergarten, so... And we were like, oh, we both want to be helicopter pilots. Wow, amazing. Maybe one day we'll fly next to each other in the sky, you know? We'll fly together, and I think back to that exact promise, and I'm like, that would be more like a suicide pact than anything. If you got anywhere near each other with helicopters and those blades collided, it takes a small breeze to send a helicopter tumbling to the floor. And, yeah, that's not exactly something I'm fond of thinking about, you know? I don't really want to die early. I don't really want to die at all. But, unfortunately, I've not unlocked the ability that is immortality, so I'll have to wait on that. But yeah, and I was a stupid kid, and I was a stupid kid as a like younger kid, but as I got older, I got like way more dickish, like way more dickish. Like I remember the meanest thing maybe that I did was I fucking chased kids around in my, this is as like a up until like 6th grade, which in and of itself is way too old to be doing this. But the meanest thing I believe that I did as like a kid was chase children around the playground roaring like a dinosaur. Which, I say roaring, but it sounds like me trying to clear my fucking throat. And, which is probably why they were running, because I thought I was gonna spit on them or something. But, yeah, that's the meanest thing that I could think of. But, once I got to middle school, I just became, like, a troubled soul, honestly. Like, for some reason, I don't know if it's because nobody got that I was being a dinosaur in elementary school, but I became such an asshole. I had so much pent-up aggression over literally nothing. I lived a pretty happy childhood. There's not much I can say that I didn't enjoy in my childhood, except for the expectation that to do greatness at the young age of 7, when your father and mother implore upon you that, hey, you need to go to college, and I still have not done at the ripe age of almost 21. And also my parents finding my porn stash that I drew of dolls having sex, and which I didn't even jack off to, I just looked at, but that's a whole can of worms for another therapy session. But in middle school, I was just an asshole. I was just the biggest dick for no reason. Like, I remember very clearly, there's one moment that sticks out to me, is me and the class were waiting for our homeroom teacher to come, and let me preface this by saying my homeroom teacher, God bless her soul, she hated us, and with good reason too. My class literally tormented this woman day in and day out. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if she was like shooting up meth. You don't shoot up meth, but I wouldn't be surprised if she was just like in the fucking teacher student lounge or whatever, fucking snorting some cocaine just to get her through the fucking day. So yeah. Anyway, that's not the point of the story. Yeah. My teacher's taking a while, and there's this kid in my class who's just talking to these people he's talking about how he takes Taekwondo, I believe, or something like that. And he's like, yeah, I'm learning to fight. I'm I'm, like, learning how to fight and defend myself and all that stuff. You know, nothing... He's kind of bragging about it, but nothing that would warrant what comes next in my mind. So he's just talking about, like, oh yeah, I do karate and whatnot, and I'm like, cool. And they're like, oh, that's cool. And my brain, for whatever reason, just looks at him. I look at him, I look him up and down, I'm like, I could fight you. Just, that escapes my voice. Like, my vocal cords, my brain and vocal cords were not making the correct connections, and out of my mouth comes, I could fight you. He looks at me, and he's like, I'm sorry, what? I'm like, you don't look tough, I could fight you. Like, I could have diffused the situation there and been like, oh, sorry, I was talking to somebody else. But no, I decided to drag this out. And I said, oh, you don't look tough. What are you, fucking... You're a white belt? Whatever. Fucking, you just started? I could fucking take you. For no reason. I have never had an interaction with this person in my life. But for whatever reason, I was just having a shit day for some reason and thought, I'm gonna take it out on this person who doesn't deserve it whatsoever. They're just excited that they're taking taekwondo or judo or kung fu, whatever. Their point is they're learning to defend themselves, and I'm being a dick by calling them out on their bullshit, I guess was where my mind was thinking. I don't know why I said these things, but I'm like, yeah, I could take you. And of course, being in middle school and not wanting to back down in front of the cute ladies he was talking to, he's like, oh yeah, well fucking, why don't we fight then? And I'm like, okay, meet me after school, behind our homeroom class. And he's like, alright, I will. So, we go to class, my teacher stops smoking weed in the student lounge and fucking comes out and is like, okay, I'll deal with you fucking gremlins. And then, I tell my friend Jake, because I always go to his house after school, I tell him, hey, I'm gonna fight this kid after school. So, I'm gonna be a second before I go to your, house. And my friend Jake is freaking out. He's like, oh my god, you're gonna fight somebody? What? So, yeah, and I'm like, yeah, what? I'm gonna fucking fight somebody. Who cares? Let's fucking fuck this guy. I had so much damage for no reason. I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna fight this guy. Fuck him. But, yeah. So, my friend Jake is like, okay, I'll go with you, and in case things get dicey, I'll help you out. Acting as though he wouldn't crumple like a piece of paper from a punch to the gut. But, yeah. So, end of the school day comes, and I'm sitting, me and my friend, Jake's like fidgeting, he's like, oh my god, I can't believe you're gonna do this, I can't believe you're gonna get in a fight, and, yeah, he's freaking out, and I'm like, whatever, and we wait for like 10 minutes behind my homeroom class, and the guy never shows, and within good reason, because, let's be real, who wants to fucking get in a fight, who cares? But, yeah, he doesn't show, and I'm like, wow, what a fucking puss. So, me and my friend go to his house, we play some fucking Naruto in his backyard or some shit. And, yeah. The next school day comes, and he's there at school, and instead of being, like, a person who moves past things and is just like, oh, he didn't want to fight me, that's fine. No. My genius self goes up to him, and I'm like, hey dude, I thought we were gonna fight. Where were you? I could have diffused this situation at so many points. I could have avoided so much shit that I didn't need to start. I mean, like, honestly, why? Why did I do this? I was, like, tormenting this kid at this point. I'm just like, what? I'm like, where were you? I thought we were gonna fight. And the guy's like, oh, yeah, I forgot. I had to go to the doctor after school. And he probably did, in all honesty. He probably did have to go to the doctor after school. But I was like, oh yeah, okay, you fucking puss, whatever. Whatever, you don't want to fight me because you're fucking scared. And, yeah, that was my last interaction with that person. Nothing ever came of that. But I often think back to that and see if I could go back in time to that exact moment, I would kick my own ass and then fucking spit on my own face and then fucking leave. Because let me tell you, I was such a fucking cunt for no reason. In middle school especially, I was just the biggest douchebag for no reason. And I regret it immensely. And to a lesser extent, high school also, but that's when the depression kicked in. And, I stopped being so much of a dick and just kind of, like, shut myself away from the world. But, yeah, that was a fun time. I don't remember what the point of this was. I think I just wanted to make a video, because I had this on my mind. But yeah, if you like this video, remember to like, comment, subscribe, all that good jazz. Comment and give me a topic or something, or let me know if you liked it, or whatever. So yeah, I will talk to you all later. Goodbye!